G'day! Over the last few weekends I've been working on the restoration of my Bondwell 14 CPM Z80 system, and this weekend, after I finally got the audio working, so I now have the digital to analog converter working, so we can generate audio and use the speech synthesis software. And this weekend I decided, just to make my life a bit easier, it'd be great to have PC put and PC get running, so we can exchange files between the Bondwell and another system such as my PC. This was a fairly straightforward process of just modifying the KPro 10 software and just updating the two serial ports for A and B, so we now have it set up correctly for the SIO0 and SIO1 ports for the Bondwell. Then I decided it would be nice to have a terminal emulation. So I looked at Kermit 80 and we finally got that working, and then I decided it would be nice to have something a little bit more sophisticated so we could use a VT100. So we've now updated the Kermit 80 software to create a very limited and basic VT100 terminal, which works reasonably well. It's a bit limited, it's a bit slow, but things such as H-tops work. We have the ability to run the Star Wars animation from the Blinken Lights Telnet site, and that works reasonably well. We don't have all the functions of a VT100 implemented, but in its limited compatibility it seems to work quite nicely. I've also tried out VI, which mostly works, except there's still some issues with the escape codes, so it's not perfect at all. I also had to go with the Link software, and we were able to do some really simple web browsing, which is pretty limited these days because without any SSL support it is quite limited on what you can actually view. Yeah, so I'm going to do a bit more work on the VT100 emulation and see if we can make some improvements. And I need to get back to the disk drive repairs. At the moment I'm using two Gotex because both of the 5 1/4 inch drives have issues. One will read perfectly okay, but writing is very intermittent. The other drive doesn't read or write. It looks like it has some bad caps, so I'm going to recap both of those drives, and my plan is to install at least one of the 5 1/4 inch drives and to keep one of the Gotex drives just for convenience, and I'll keep the second 5 1/4 as a spare or a backup. I've also been using my 486 DOS system to assist with converting the disk image files, and I've been using the TeleDisk software, which works really well with C menu. The C menu software is great for transferring files between a formatted disk and the DOS machine. And I've also been playing with the 22 disk DOS utilities. So yeah, the DOS machine's been really useful, but now I have the ability to use PC put and PC get. That's going to really make installing software a lot easier, especially with the two serial ports on the Bondwell, so I can have one for Telnet and one for doing file transfers. Absolutely brilliant. Well, I hope you found that useful, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.